So for my thesis show, it was a piece entitled Makeshift Mendings, and it was 150 plus yards of cotton that was hand-stitched and scrunched and pieced together and then embellished and suspended with pulleys and weighted with handmade sandbags and bricks that were burned and used, and then it was also attached to the wall. The idea behind the work was that through the use of fabric and this process to create a physical barrier in the space. And so the lighting set up in the gallery was that you walk in and the lighting was kind of flatter on the front side and darker. And then when you walked around the backside is more representative of the human spirit and sort of persistence, kind of in the face of tragedy. I've used kind of barriers and walls as kind of a reference to the walls that we create, like when we're during traumatic times or in times of crisis, the walls that we construct emotionally, and how through time we need to deconstruct those and really let growth and rejuvenation happen. And so that was why the work was lit the way it was, that the backside was much brighter than the front side. And it also is representative of kind of a safe place on the backside. So there's also the idea of kind of outward and inward. The characteristic of the fabric, the smocking that's involved, it's supposed to reference skin as well. And then there's parts of it, kind of the embellishment with the embroidery and the addition of different types of fabric over top, like cheesecloth, kind of representative of the wounds or bandages that are part of the healing process. And in terms of talking about the way that it was hung and supported, the pulleys and the weights are representative of kind of all that goes into maintaining these barriers. And so everything was sort of overweighted, kind of over-rigged, to kind of give the idea of that visual weight. And the other thing, this is constructed of both new and old fabric, and I like the idea of that mixture of sort of healing and growth, that something can be used, and that kind of reference to humans as being used or kind of unwholesome, and that mixed with kind of newer fabric, which is clean and fresh, and so it's sort of part of this healing life process. I was really lucky that I was able to install it before the show in several different places, so I could figure out scale, and because the biggest thing was that installing a work in that space, I really didn't want it. It needed to command the space and be sort of this barrier and wall, and that the space, I didn't want the space to control it. And so I even, during the install, I had to add an extra like 6 feet to it, because it ended up being a little too small. I am Whitney Mahoney, and I am finishing up my thesis at KU in textiles.